So I guess first up, we want to address Rayshard Brooks, another African American black man murdered by the police. And Chris, you touched on it a little bit this week in your Chris's Corner. I am I'm burnt out, bro. Like you go ahead and take this one because talking about it for me is just emotionally draining. I can't do it.
No, I feel you. Like I'm right there with you. But when I was thinking about when I was doing my Chris's Corner, I felt exactly how you felt, Dibs. Like lately, I'm just like, have I been going too hard? Have I like, do I want to talk about something else? Like I get it because it's so dark and it's so heavy. And it's like it kind of consumes you, And it's like it's already emotionally draining because you have everything else you got going on in your life. Everybody has everything else going on, and then when you look and you see this, it's like this isn't something that we have the privilege to remove ourselves from. Like, this is us. This could be you. This could be Colin. This could be me. Mm-hmm. Like, it could be any one of us. And, like oh, don't resist. Like, it's not always as simple as that. And, like, so I was going through my mind, do I even want to talk about it? Like, I, from time to time, scroll down my Facebook just to see, like, what's the general, if you go look at my page, like, what's the overall aura? Like, what's the emotion that you get from my page? Like, is it funny? Is it light? Is it just, like, whatever? And, like, honestly, I think for the past like 3 weeks, for the past month, it's just been nothing but this. Because I just feel like even though it's draining, I have to say something. Because if we stop, the cycle continues. Where something happens, there's outrage, calms down, boop, we all forget about it, go back to talking about whatever we're talking about else, and then it starts all over again.
How much do you think they care about what's going on, protests? Because I see changes being made, which is good. But police enforcement, government officials, I think this is more just to save face. But at some point, people are going to get tired of protesting. Like, okay, for instance, look, people are going back to work because COVID is kind of winding down a little bit. People are going to work. People have other things to do. The protests aren't as big anymore. So right. This guy, Rayshard, was murdered in cold blood, just like George Floyd. But the outrage isn't as big. I think once things start dying down even more, everything is going to go, sad to say, everything is going to go back to what it was. Black people are still going to get gunned down in the streets like dogs. And people are just going to turn a blind eye to this stuff. People just had time. Like the George Floyd murder, it was just the perfect timing.
Right, because everybody's sitting at home cooped up.
Everybody's at home, just chilling.
I wouldn't say this act was in cold blood. I wouldn't say it was in cold blood. My sense on this was, yes, he was wrong. He was in the wrong. Okay. However, did it have to go that far? It didn't have to go that far. There were steps that could have taken before it even got to that point. To me, I'm like, I understand. Like George Floyd, it was easy for people to get behind George Floyd because George didn't resist. And then for 8 minutes, the absurdity of kneeling on somebody's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds is just, that is blatant police brutality. But now you have a situation where now they have the argument, and I've said it over and over and over again. You notice that people are more vocal when you can't find a blemish on him. Like George Floyd in that situation, you can't find where he did something wrong. But the argument can be made here. Actually, there really is no argument to be made. Like, dude broke the law. Yes, he broke the law. My sense on that is the system is flawed because it didn't have to go the way that it went.
Right.
Like there were other steps that could have been taken. But the thing is, like, to answer your question, the system doesn't care. And that's why those steps weren't taken. They don't give a crap. They're making changes and they're talking about it, but I guarantee you won't see much change around the country.
It shouldn't take that long to make changes like don't put nobody in a chokehold. It's already a written law that you can't shoot somebody in the back. Both parties were wrong in the whole Rayshard Brooks thing. One was just more wrong than the other. Okay.
So, yes, and that's why he's getting charged with murder. Yes, I agree because that's why. Yeah. But that's why I'm saying, like, when people care, this situation, honestly, I think it kind of gives them an argument because if you look at Trump's EO that he just put out, and it's like. Police officers are banned from using chokeholds except for when their life is endangered.
I could just say my life is
same
in danger
thing.
every time.
That's my thing. If your life is in danger, who the hell uses a chokehold? Like that's what your gun is for. Like if it's lethal force is authorized, at that point, if you're using a chokehold, somebody else has got to be unarmed. So therefore, your life can't be in danger.
You gotta take their guns, bro. I'm sorry. Like this is happening too much. This is happening too much. You have to get some type of authorization because clearly these people that they got with the badge, with the gun, they operating off instinct. Just because they had a power to take somebody's life. That too often we are seeing videos where they are, oh, he pissed me off, I'm about to shoot the shit out of him.
Every officer, I believe, should go through psychological evaluation. Every officer. I don't care if you've had a bad rap in the past. I don't care if you've been a model cop. Every police officer should go through a psychological evaluation every couple months to see where your head is at. Also, these background checks need to be a whole lot more thorough because you have people coming in that are becoming police officers that have a history of some sort of misconduct or violence or things like that.
And they just switch departments.
You can't become a cop. Yeah. You can't. To my recollection, I think I heard you can't become a cop if you have marijuana on your record. You know, smoking marijuana. But then you have dudes out here beating the hell out of women. You know, just being overall aggressive. But then they can get a badge and a gun. That's backwards. I'd rather have a dude that smoked marijuana on the force than some dude that's considered aggressive. I understand there's a level of aggression that has to come with being a police because sometimes you have to be that dude. You have to take somebody down.
Yeah, I mean, the bar is too low.
Yeah, it's way too low.
I was meeting up with two of my cop friends out here for they work for the county, and we got into the whole discussion about it. We got into the whole because you know me, you know my stance, and I'm like with my whole Rayshard Brooks thing. Just for me, that makes my argument for defunding the police. That makes my argument where there should be other avenues, there should be other options available than just automatically you're going to jail. Because you could have exhibited the same type of punishment by just giving him a citation, let him go. Report to court, and then we'll discuss what you did. I don't need to take you to jail. You know what I'm saying?
Take their guns, and I guarantee they find another solution to. They wouldn't even approach people the way that they do.
But I was talking to our cop buddies, and I made that point, and he goes, "Well, what that is, you have a liability. Okay, so say they did let him go. He gets drunk, he leaves, he goes home and beats somebody, and it's gonna come back. Well, you had him in custody. Why didn't you arrest him? So it's like a catch-22. It's like, what do you do? In my opinion, there's a way for that. Like there's definitely there's some way to fix that little loophole, that type of liability.
That ain't none of your business.
Right. What?
That ain't none of your business.
If
he do something,
you can't arrest somebody just because they might do something.
Right. I know that. I'm just saying.
Right.
No, I'm not saying arrest him because he might do something. I'm saying like that's the reason why they don't let you off. Like if you commit a crime and it's just like, oh, all right, I'll just issue a citation, let you go. And then you go commit another crime, that second crime could have been stopped had I arrested you for the first crime.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Look, say for instance, I drive drunk. I get pulled over driving drunk. The cop is like, you know what? You're fine. I'll just go home. I'm gonna call you an Uber. All right, cool. I go home and in my drunken rage, pull out a gun and shoot somebody. That second crime that I committed could have been stopped had I went to jail.
That's not the cop's fault.
That's not the cop's fault, and it doesn't make sense. You can't arrest somebody for what they might or might not do. That's why. No.
Arresting me for the first offense, which was a jailable offense, would have stopped me from committing my second jailable offense.
So by that logic, everybody that's caught speeding, everybody that's caught,
that's not a jailable offense.
Even somebody. Okay, but what you're saying is this dude being drunk, he could have went home and beat his wife. I'm just saying that was the argument that was made to me. That it's a liability, which I think there's a way around. By their logic, this guy, if they hadn't arrested him, potentially could have went home and beat his wife. So basically, they turned into Raven Simone on what's that movie called? What's that show called? That's
Raven.
Saw the future, like this dude is gonna go home and beat his girl, beat his daughter, or whatever. And it's like, we got to arrest him. We got to take him down now. That makes no sense. You can't arrest somebody because there's even times when they're trying to catch somebody in the act, like a RICO investigation or something like that. And there can be some, in our eyes, what we consider solid evidence that this person committed such a crime. But sometimes they're like, we ain't got enough evidence. Wait a minute now. Hold on. This legitimately said we should go wipe somebody. Same thing with like the Tekashi 6ix9ine case. There was a couple times when they had on audio somebody talking about doing something. So yeah, they're like, bigger still. I'm gonna get
that's a good point. And like that's what I was saying. Like I'm pretty sure there's a way around it, but that was the arguments they were making of why cops don't do that. And like,
that's what needs to be changed
in that situation. But I get being in the cop being in that situation. Like, I'm not trying to make any excuses because again, my stance has been documented and I've well voiced my stance on this entire situation. But I do like to try to see it from the other side, and I do see it could be one, it's a highly stressful job. Two, it can be like split-second decisions. However, with better training, it would alleviate that. I feel like the training needs to be, the training needs to change. Whatever training you're doing now, do away with it, revamp it. And also, like, you need to actually make sure that they're following the training. There needs to be repercussions for not following the training.
It seems, though, like the training is catch these people and take them to jail.
That's what I'm saying. The whole training needs to be revamped. Like, you need to bring
that's the like, how do you revamp they job description? Like that.
Well, officers that have been on the job for 15 years.
But it's deeper than that because, okay, so you got to go on what's the policy, the laws, the rules. What is the motivation behind that? Well, for profit. For profit. Again, that's what I talk about on Chris's Corner.
I don't think a cop shooting somebody in the back is for profit.
No. See, here's the thing. Them not allowing him to go home but taking him to jail is for profit. The system makes them take them to jail because when you take somebody to jail, you get the bail, you get all those fees that come with that. You got to put in, you bail or bond or whatever. Then on top of that, you have court costs, court fees, lawyer. Like, bro, like
I think that's an unfair. Like, hold on, because is that do that money go into the cop's pocket?
It goes into the system, not the individual cops.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. The cops don't get paid off of that. I think it's more like the people that we put in these positions. The cops that are making these decisions to arrest you or shoot you in the back or put you in the drunk tank. Those people have these implicit biases that everybody out there is committing crimes.
I think like this. Think about how we all know that cops have a quota by the end of the month. That's why you see them speed traps and everything else like that because they have a quota of certain tickets that they have to get. Why? Because that money it funds the department. It funds them. It may be a regular cop, but they know they got a quota that they got to meet at the end of the day, at the end of the month. They may be good cops. They may not have implicit biases. However, the system in which they're in, the rules in which the guidelines in which they have to do their job requires them to do so. That's my point. That's why they don't just let people go. Because when that body cam is on.
So what they need to do is get rid of that quota. Get rid of the quota.
That's a bias. That's the bias. If my system is telling me that this many people are going to commit crimes this month, that's what a quota is. Like,
right.
This many people are going to do this. So if this many people are not doing this, you are not doing your job.
Not doing this.
So they have a built-in bias that this many people are going to speed this month.
I wouldn't say
I got to stop this many people, whether they did it or not.
Right. But the thing is, all right, so when me and my girl came back from New York, I was on 94. I was leaving the airport. I'm heading home. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I had been up, like whatever. So I felt it because, I got enough experience of getting pulled over that now it's like a sixth sense. I just feel it. And I get on 94. I'm like, it's a cop up here. I felt it. I'm like, it's a cop up here. I didn't care. I was doing 95 down 94. Like, I was just like hitting it. And I saw him at the last minute. Like, as I'm driving, I'm just like, shit. And she's like, what? I'm like, just put the seatbelt on. Like, just put the seatbelt on. Slow down. He gets behind me. I pull over. Dude walks up. I'm ready to do my whole trick and pump my, so I can get out of it. He was like, license. License. All right, when I gave my license, he went back, and asked for no proof of insurance, I asked for no registration, nothing, just license. I'm like, I'm automatically getting a ticket. Dude gave me a ticket, but what he gave me a ticket for was for double parking. It wasn't for speeding. Because I read a while ago, because when you have traffic, we have parking tickets like that, that money stays within the city. because when you get on the highway and like those traffic and those fines, they have to split that money with the state. So you give me a double parking ticket, that money stays within the department. Therefore, you just boosted your department's revenue up by however much the ticket was. The system. That's what I'm talking about. The system. When I got pulled over on Christmas, double parking. Why? Because that money stays. Like it's a very not complicated like function to this. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not necessarily.
Yeah, but do you see? That's what I'm saying. Do you see that cop's motivation? By what you saying is, instead of citing you for the crime that you committed, the cop wanted to put money in his department's bank.
Yes. Instead of letting him go off or sending him a ticket, letting Rayshard get a ticket, calling him an Uber, just giving him a citation and let him go. No, you make more money if you try and put him in jail.
But
because
he killed
citation,
him.
Well, he's saying
that's what I'm saying.
He would have made more money, but these incentives,
right? But I'm saying that's why the system
dangerous.
That's what I'm saying. The system is flawed, and that's why we don't see. That's why the cause for defund the police is like that. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not always the cop. It might think it's the system. You break down the system. Those type of cops that have that implicit bias, they have that racial bias, have that blatant fucking bias. They won't be able to operate because the system won't allow them to. The system now empowers them to be that way because hey, I'm just doing my job. That you can fall back on, I'm just doing my job. But when your job allows you the leeway of, hey, your chief or your commander comes up to you, hey, why didn't you just give him a ticket and let him go? Why did you start being held accountable for your actions? Then you can't just say, oh, I was just doing my job. You got to explain yourself. But the system isn't set up that way because the system is set up for profit. Prison, the criminal justice system is, I want to say, I honestly haven't looked it up. It's probably $1 trillion industry. Like prison labor is $1 billion industry.
I mean, it's terrible. But going to both of y'all points, there has to be a full overhaul. It would be difficult because there's people that have been on the force for 10, 15 years that understand that policing has to be this way, is because this is what I learned. So it's going to be difficult to change all those people. But if you're not willing to conform, then you need to bust up out of here. Get off the force.
Is the Atlanta Police Department back to work?
I'm not
talking about the ones who quote unquote walked off?
Yeah.
I think so.
Because that's part of what we're talking about. You like you said, like what system are they defending to where somebody could get shot in the back? And I mean, they pretty much standing up for him.
It's a brotherhood. It's a brother.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Just like in Buffalo, when they pushed that old man down, 54 officers on that tactical force. They didn't quit the police force. They quit that tactical unit.
Yep.
In response, like, bro, like, and that's what we talk about. It's not all cops, yeah, but your silence makes you complicit. You like,
yep.
We're not seeing enough of people calling out people. But however, when cops do call out other cops, they got some. I see in the thread. It's a bunch of stories out there that.
There was the one cop that got fired because he seen the lady cop do something egregious to the person that they were arresting or processing or something. Yeah. So when he called her out, he ended up losing his job back in 2006, and he's been fighting that ever since because he can't get his pension.
No, no, he's dead. You know who that is, right? That's what Chappelle talked about. He got fired. He went through all that appeal stuff, and they kept denying him. So he wrote a manifesto.
Yeah.
In his manifesto, he listed Dave Chappelle and everything else. He killed 2 cops sitting in the car. He killed a police officer's daughter. He said he was waging a war on the LAPD and their families. Killed a police officer's daughter. Killed 2 officers sitting in the car. I think he killed somebody else. I think he killed like 4 or 5 people. And then when they found him, he didn't get his day in court. But like,
they stalled him out. They stalled him out.
Just like the dude in Dallas, former cop. I think he's either a former cop or former military. He killed those 5 police officers, and they sent a robot in and blew him up. They found him in the cabin. They blew him up.
You see, blue has to stick by blue, and I firmly think that you should stick by your family, your friends, and things like that. But I have family and friends, and I feel like I'm loyal to them. But my loyalty only goes so far. If you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, hey, bro, I hope you get out of this. I hope you figure out something. Is because it's just a bad look. It's a bad feel for your conscience when you're sticking up for somebody that's done something wrong. like extreme. I'm talking about wrong as in like you just murdered
you like
somebody.
Egregiously, like yo.
Yeah. I'm not talking about I stole a pencil or something like that. Like, all right, yeah, I got your back, I guess. But if you murder somebody, I'll point the fingers at you. You can kick me off the force all you want.
But they said in like in George Floyd's situation, they said the cops flipping, like they telling. And then one of the other in Rayshard Brooks's situation, apparently the other cop is cooperating, whatever that means.
How are
you telling on somebody when they have you on camera? So this man got his knee on George Floyd's neck. Other dude just chilling.
Because they
hands in front of him. Like, what's up? I dare.
Well, actually, it was three of them on. It was four of them on him, or 3 or 4 of them on him.
Now the two of them, the other two, I couldn't. They're not really in the camera from what I've seen. I haven't seen too many videos of it. All I see
they got another angle where they on his back. One dude is on his neck. The one that caused him. They said that his cause of death, he was crushed. So you got 3 grown men on your back, on your neck, on your lower lumbar. They crushed him. That's how he died. And then you got one dude standing lookout, making sure don't nobody interfere with the quote unquote arrest. All 4 of them are guilty. All 4 of them should go to jail.
Yep,
definitely.
It would have only took one of them. Just to say this ain't right.
Hey man, ease up.
You need to get up. Yep, one of them, and that
you don't do that.
Saved.
You don't do that. You know why? But you, especially with body cams on, you don't do that. You don't do that to your boys, your brothers in blue. It's funny because the black community. I was thinking about this. The black community got dogged. Everybody was like, "Oh well, the black community has this no snitching policy and blah 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 blah." You don't think the blue community don't have that either?
Well, hold on. That policy is different. Okay. Comparatively from
wrong
black.
Is wrong.
Because that's not snitching. What they're doing isn't snitching. In the heat of the moment when it's going on, if I tell you, hey man, get up off of them, that's not snitching. Snitching is if you do something in secret, nobody knows about it, and then you start screaming. That's snitching.
Either way, correcting the wrong is correcting the wrong. Like holding people accountable. That's what you snitching is holding somebody accountable.
Snitching is a whole. Snitching is something's got to be done in secret.
So you mean to tell me if I kill your brother, and you know I killed your brother, you're not gonna turn me in?
Hell yeah.
Okay. So you would correct me. You would correct my wrong, right? You would hold me accountable, right?
But I'm talking about
it's the same thing.
No. You're not understanding what I'm saying. If you do that in secret, right? There's nobody else around. That's considered snitching. But if there's other people around, you got body cams on, and this dude is killing this guy, one officer could have been like, yo, stop doing that. Because that's not snitching. That's just straight up stop doing what you're doing. Because what you're doing
when
is
I
wrong.
say, I'm not talking about in the course of the moment, because when the investigations come out, like now, the investigation is happening. They silent. They stay in it. Like a lot of times you see them stay together, they don't say nothing. That's what I'm talking about. When the investigation is going on, hey, man, like what he did was messed up. It was foul. Like, boy, he blatantly... They would have that right there would be enough for them to go after these cops and do that stuff, but they don't do that. They stay silent. They don't cooperate. They stick together. That's why it was a big deal when the whole Derek Chauvin, like all 4 of those cops, they made a big news. Like they're flipping on each other. Like they're not all sticking together like they're expected to. I don't care about in the course of the moment because I know in the course of the moment you're not going to correct them because you don't want to. It's for appearances. Even though
right, but what I was getting at was he should have corrected them in the course of the moment. Regardless of if it's snitching or not, in my opinion, that's not considered snitching. If you stop somebody from committing the crime in the course of the moment, that's not snitching.
To me, that's snitching.
It would have only taken one officer to quote unquote snitch in order for, and George Floyd would probably be alive to this day.